Hey, it's Nitya with Nitya Living. How are you? Woo, it's gotten cold here in Virginia. My gracious. So today I wanted to talk about two singers who recently died, Irene Cara and Christine McVie. So this is Bazi Chinese astrology. If this is something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe and like. So when we look at Chinese astrology, as you can with Western astrology, you can see how people might have a predisposition to certain illnesses, certain kinds of relationships. And when somebody dies, one of the things that I like to do is to explore what led to that. Why did that person die? And somehow, as we look at the mystery, we can also sometimes better understand our own journey. So, all I know is Eastern astrology. You can adjust your own chart through diet, exercise, your lifestyle, your career, the colors you wear, the foods you eat, right? Even the feng shui of your house, of course, plays a role in all of that. Okay. So, I got my cup of tea here. It's too hot to drink. Anyway, so Irene Cara, I did have a birthday for her, or a time, which I couldn't find anywhere for Christine McVie. If you find it, please put it in comments. Sometimes it's really hard to find people's birth times. Irene Cara, I remember her songs from Flashdance. That movie was everything. I think everybody tore off the sleeves of their sweatshirts, and we had leg warmers, and oh my gracious, what a movie. It's amazing how a movie and the music of it can so freeze frame a time in your life. Kind of like the Bee Gees and disco, or if it's not the Bee Gees, maybe Donna Summer. So she's born March 18th, 1959 at the time of 10:41 a.m. She's born in a yin earth pig year, a yin fire rabbit month, and a yin earth pig day, and a yin earth snake hour. So when we look at all of this, we can see that she's born in both the day and the year of the pig. Pigs are the easiest people to get along with. They love luxury. They love the comforts of life. And they're not always the ones that want to be making things happen. They really like to be doted on and pampered. Her career, which is found in your hour, as a snake, is very very intuitive person, more behind the scenes, not necessarily where I would find somebody who is on a stage performing, let's say. So I don't think they've revealed why she died. I think they said after a short illness or something, because she was very young. She died November 26th, 2022. So the day that she died was Yang Water Tiger year, Yin Metal Pig Day, and a Yang Water Horse Day. All right, so we've got the year, the month, the day. And all of these things are contributing factors. What led up to Cara's passing? First of all, this is someone born in a wood pattern. I don't always speak of this, but this is crucial because your pattern determines your life. Because if the pattern is broken, life ends. There are other contributing factors that can end life, of course, but that is a big one. The pattern should be supported. The pattern should be not damaged. So her pattern is a wood pattern. Her chart is 2 yin. It is also very hot and dry. The makeup is, she is a strong earth person at 35%. She is supported in a very balanced way with 23% fire. So that gives her a lot of strong support. She has next to no output of metal, only 2%. So I would imagine for her, especially given that she's a double pig, I bet it was really hard, or had been hard, for her to feel motivated in her life. Water is balanced at 15%. Wood is balanced at 25%. But again, that lack of metal. And metal is associated in its yang form with the lungs. In its yin form, it's nails, skin, hair. So when we look at this, the fact that she has a wood pattern also is weakening even further. It's like suppressing that metal energy that's so missing in her chart pretty much. You might have noticed again, here it is. It's a tiger year. She died in a tiger year, and she has that snake in her hour. Did that contribute? Possibly. It speaks of health issues. It speaks of accidents. It speaks of, it's a punishment. It's a penalty against your welfare. It can also suggest lawsuits, bankruptcy, things like that. In her chart, she is a double pig. And this speaks of self-punishment. I talked about this with Princess Diana's chart. Somebody that has a self-punishment is more likely to get stuck in a mental loop in their head. It can be a loop of, I'm no good. Like a self-defeatist. Somebody that maybe is a perfectionist. Whatever that loop is, they get stuck in it. It's like a fixed mindset, and it's a penalty against themselves. It's somebody that wrestles with their demons, that kind of thing. So this year, in addition to that penalty, that punishment with the snake in her hour, which is also in void, her hour of the snake is in void, speaks to somebody that probably had an inconsistent career. The tiger this year combines with her pigs to form a wood harmony. That's a rare thing to see. And a semi-wood seasonal trio and another semi traditional wood trio. A lot of wood. A whole lot of wood we're talking about here. And then the day that she died, that horse of that day brought in some fire. And let's see, the snake also combines with her life pillar of the rooster. We haven't talked about her life pillar. It is a yin water rooster. Now, the rooster is probably guessing that, or intuiting, that is where the impetus for her singing comes from. And it's in that we find motivation, that we find joy in her ability to sing, to create. And there is a surge of money. Her father was the most important person in her life. And if she had daughters, they would be too. And she was also someone who was able to generate income from many different sources. So the snake in her hour combines with that rooster in her life pillar to create a semi-metal trio. And that's a blessing when you see that your life pillar gives you an element that you need. That is a good thing. That rooster clashes with her rabbit in a battle of wood and metal. And of course, metal's going to lose because wood is much stronger than it is. And there's a clash with her pigs and the snake. And that's a battle of water and fire. So it's interesting to find out what it was that she died from. But this particular year, with not a full punishment, but a partial punishment of the tiger and the snake, suggesting a greater propensity for accidents, illness, even so far as death. And I have spoken a lot about this throughout this year. I'm sure a lot of you will be happy to see this year end. So cheers to that. What I am intuiting, there is a lot of wood happening in this chart. There is a great weakness of metal. My guess is that there is something that happened with her lungs, with her ability to breathe, like an asthma attack, like pneumonia, like COVID. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out from that. Alrighty. Christine McVie, like I said, could not find her hour. She is born July 12th, 1943. So this is 75% accurate. I often say you can divine an astrology chart without the time, but it's like trying to drive a car with 3 wheels. I think you can, but it's not like you're going to get very far. Anyway, the thing that's so interesting about Christine's chart, it's all sheep. I mean, all sheep. She is born in the year of a yin water sheep, the month of a yin earth sheep, and the day of a yin metal sheep. Sheepity sheep, sheep. And what do we know about sheep? I just talked about it with Bruce Willis and also Johnny Depp. Musicians, artists, creators, beautiful energy. But it's all yin. And again, balance, balance, balance. Just like in nature, we need it. Our gut needs it. In our life, we need it, right? In our day-to-day living life, we seek balance. Though I do know people that survive in chaos and thrive in it. Love it. I'm not one of those people. I like things to be ordered and organized. Yeah. So she also has a Jalbird. This is an interesting piece. And not even knowing her hour, she has 44% earth energy. 14%, just slightly weak, of her own element of metal. 44%. Wow. That is a lot. Not exactly sure if we know why she died either, interestingly enough. So inevitably, if you have too much of one element, you're going to have others, or at least one that's extremely weak. So when you have so much of the element that nurtures you. It's called a jailbird, and it is kind of like a mother who smothers their child, and often speaks to someone who had a really oppressive relationship with their mother. Okay, so this again, 44% of the element that nurtures her. Too much. It's just too much. Water, what she creates, weak at 12%, not terrible. Wood and fire, both at 6%, really weak. Interesting, she was a songwriter. Writing is the wood element. Singing, performing, being a musician, that's a fire element. She was naturally balancing her chart out. And we can do this with our lifestyle, with the foods we eat, the colors we wear, the careers and hobbies we have. We can find a certain amount of balance in our charts by making adjustments like that. I mean, and it's so fascinating to me how some people really intuitively know how to do that. Her chart is too dry and too cold. Irene Cara's was too hot and too dry. This is too dry and cold. The earth being dry, metal, cold. Yeah. So, all of that being said, here we've got someone who died on a day when there was so much water and wood. A lot of water and wood. And the day that she died formed a full wood trio and a clash of the pig and the snake. And why is that happening? Let's look. She had just entered a new luck cycle of a yin fire rabbit. Speaking to fire being what rules her is, suggesting a radical change in her career. It also suggests challenges and changes. It is something that rules and controls her. And the rabbit of this new luck cycle is speaking of gaining excess or extra income through investments, inheritances, maybe royalties from the songs from being in Fleetwood Mac. And then the life pillar was a snake, a yin fire snake, which is great because it's giving her a huge surge of fire and element, which is weak in her chart, but is like this secret back pocket influence that's really great and speaks to her career as being a dominant part of her life. A dominant part of her life was all about her career, being a singer-songwriter for Fleetwood Mac as part of that band. It also speaks to the fact that her husband or partner, her lovers, were one of the most important relationships for her. Much less so, but mentioned, is her mother. And again, that jailbird punishment that I mentioned at the beginning speaks to the fact that there was stuff going on with that mother relationship. So that's all very interesting. So that's where I'm talking about the snake. Because you were probably like, where's there a snake? Because she's all sheep. But yes, so the life pillar is the snake. And again, that life pillar and this year's tiger forms a hidden punishment of tiger and snake, suggesting, because The life pillar isn't, like if you pull up a chart, it's only going to give you the 4 pillars. It's not going to give you the life pillar. It's a hidden aspect. So that's why I call it like the back pocket. It's something that you don't see coming. So this was an illness. This was an accident. This was some disruption to her life force that we didn't see coming. That was a surprise. The day she died was Yang, water, tiger year, yin metal, pig month, yin fire, pig day. And double pig, mentioning that's a lot of water, whole lot of water. And this year being water, and then the tiger being wood. So like I said, a lot of water and a lot of wood surging in. And this person has an earth pattern to their chart, obviously 44% earth. So the water and the wood are definitely a challenge to all of that. So the whole thing is very interesting. Does it all come down to that secret hidden punishment with the tiger and the snake? Who knows? It'll be interesting to find out what they actually died from, Irene and Christine. So those were 2 charts I thought I would share with you. Again, it's not like we're finding definitive solutions, but it's more of an exploration, an investigation, exploring and figuring out as we unpack somebody's astrology to understand just a little bit better this Bazi Chinese astrology in relation to real life events and real people. Thank you so much. Be well.